Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to It's Time with Keandra Ward. We are live. So excited to be on with you today, every Monday here, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're here, let us know that you're here. Super excited to have a great friend of mine, style expert, style maven, my friend, also my stylist, Liz Everett on. Liz Everett, listen, we have her live in the building. Like, it's hard to get her live in the building because she's so sought out and wanted, and I'm so excited to have her on. Now, listen, we do not own the rights to this music. I'll post a link to Speak Life by Toby Mac. Listen, you've got to listen to it. It's so important to speak life over your business, over yourself. It's important to just know that you have it, that you can make it, and to speak life over everything that concerns you. Everything that concerns you, you need to speak life over it. And so I'm so excited. I love that song. I'll make sure I post it because I do believe that we should not only give you information, but we should also give you resources. So are you guys ready? We are not going to prolong the time. I'm going to bring up award-winning style strategist and certified image consultant, Liz Everett. She's coming on, guys. When I tell you, give her a welcome, give her a shout. Yes. Hey, Liz. Hey, Liz. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. So it's hard for me to hear you. If you can hear her, good morning, everybody. Hey, Denise. Hey, Twan. If you can hear us, please let me know so that we can make sure that we're on, because I couldn't hear her very clearly. I can hear. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear you very clearly, Liz. Let's see what we got going on here. Let us know. Good morning, Felicia. Hey, guys. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. Okay, so Liz, they're saying they can hear me, but they can't hear you. So let's take a look at the volume there. Because I have you up and on. So here. So I'll let you know when you're on though. We'll go here and then I'll let you know when you're on. So guys, listen, thank you so much for working through the technical difficulties with us. We are crazy excited to have you. So today's topic, let me explain something to you. And Liz and I are going to talk about this in a moment. It's really important that you understand the importance of representing your brand at all times. Let me give you guys a little story as to where this came from. So, my town where I live, it's a little small. It's not really big. I love it because it's kind of secluded. And I said, you know what? I need to run to Walmart very quickly. That Walmart run. And so I was running to Walmart. I didn't even have a haircut that day. I put on something real quick, no makeup. I was like, let me just run to Walmart. So I'm in Walmart and this lady says, Kendra. And I look and I said, Keandra, I'm Keandra. She says, Keandra, oh, I thought your name was Kendra. Hey, Angela, good morning. And I said, yeah, that's me, yes, Keandra. She was like, I watch your lives. I watch your Facebook posts. You're such an inspiration. And I know she was looking at me because I promise you, I probably had crust in my eyes, guys. I looked a hot mess. And so I realized that as your brand grows and as you grow in your brand, yes, I know, Denise, as you grow in your brand, you have to be mindful of your image at all times. Now, Liz will tell you, I used to be like, Liz, it do not take all of that. When she gets on, you'll hear her say, I just be like, oh, Liz, I'm not doing all that. I don't want to do all that. That's too much. I just want to run to the store. And Liz would always tell me, listen, you are your brand. So you have to represent your brand at all times. So I'm really excited to have her on to share about that. And remember, you have to be mindful at all times. So say, like, for instance, hey, Dorothy, Denise. So let's say, for instance, Denise is an award-winning, we gonna claim it now if it's not already. She is an award-winning pastry chef, right? And she does some amazing work, but she's going to drop off her pastries with flour and powder all over her face, looking a hot mess, hair everywhere. Think about it. What would you think about her? She should go in the custom garb that she has for her business. She should go with her hair and makeup looking great, delivering the product, because you never know who's in the room at the delivery. And I think sometimes we forget that it's not always the person that we're going to see or the people that we're going to talk to. It may be the people around them. Who do they know? And we have to be very, 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 very mindful of that. Denise says, sometimes I almost do. I understand, because you're so busy and you have to go through it. But listen, we have to be very mindful of our brand. We have to be very mindful of our style. And we have to be mindful of what we're called to do. Let's see, Liz, are you back? Let me know when we can hear you. You can just start talking and I'll know that you're ready. Nope, I still can't hear you. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's see if we can work through some of this. So let's, Felicia said, you said you're ducking today. No, I understand. Let's talk about that. What does style mean to you and your brand? You know, being in the beauty industry, when I was in the beauty industry, I promise you guys, I would not leave the house not looking my best, because I understood the industry that I was in. But the transition of industries, I didn't do it as well. I was like, oh, it's all right. I don't really need to, And so again, hence the Walmart. So what do you think? What do you think the importance of, I'll tell her to try using some headphones when she comes back on. She logged out and is going to come back in and try to join us. But what do you think the importance of understanding your brand? What's the importance of understanding your brand and your brand colors and your brand image and your brand style? I really had to take some time, and Liz actually helped me when we went through the process of rebranding from the all pink to the purple and the blues and the golds. That was a process, and we had to go through a lot of things, and Liz helped me with that process because we really had to talk about what I want my brand to represent. Now, with that being said, when I go out to speak, I always want to be what we call on brand, which means we are wearing our colors. People always know I love purple. Now, purple for me, just to give you guys a backdrop, it isn't just a brand color. It's my birthstone. It's been my favorite color since I can remember. Hey, let's see if we can get her back on. I think we got Liz. Let's see. Hey.
Hi.
Yes, I can hear you. All right, let me get through. Let me bring you in live for everyone to hear you and see you here. Y'all ready? Drum roll. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that.
Can you guys hear her?
Yeah. When I went into the app, I hadn't let it access my microphone.
No problem. We got it. See, that's the thing about being technically savvy and the thing about flowing with what it is. And we can even talk about that a little bit today. Hey, Angela, so you said reds. Reds is your color. Absolutely. Absolutely. And gold as well. Okay. I love it. Let's see what Denise said. So, Liz, we've been just discussing the importance of understanding your brand colors, your brand image, and what that looks like, and how, I fought you for a long time. I was like, look, it doesn't take that. I don't feel like doing all that. What are you talking about, Liz? What do you want me to do? What? You want me to do what?
Well, first, let's talk about brand color for 1 second.
Well, no. First, let's introduce your amazing self. So first, I want you I told them a little bit about you, but I'm a little biased, so I'm going to let you tell them tell them about you, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, and a little bit of your history.
Okay, perfect. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Liz Everett of Liz Everett Style. I am an award-winning style strategist and certified image consultant. I help you look like what you sell because you are fabulous. I put the Y-O-U in fabulous, baby.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. It really is about helping you just connect yourself, look like what you sell, feel amazing when you walk in the room. You know, your first impression is your best impression. But what we don't realize is over and over again, every time we walk in the room, we make a brand new first impression. And when we make that ignited it factor, wow, cool, awesome self-impression, we not only give other people in the room power and the permission to be amazing, but we reinforce the call that God has on our lives.
Absolutely.
You know, I had to get tired of people prophesying greatness over me and not stepping into it.
Yes.
So now is your time to do that. Don't just let people prophesy leadership and greatness, worthiness and amazing things over you. It's time for you to fully step into that. And when Keandra talks about fighting me on that, it's within her. When you're fighting and saying, well, and I can't do that, what I realize is you're not fighting me, you're fighting your prophetic self.
Yeah.
The woman that you've been called to be and the responsibility that comes with being her. So that's why people fight their image a lot of times. It's really not that they don't think they look good with blonde hair or pink hair or, you know, wearing red or pink lipstick. It's that they're fighting that amazing prophetic vision of who they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is so. Nellie said, hey, and she said, you don't want to see how she's looking today.
Honey, you don't want to see how I looked an hour ago running errands.
Yes. But you know what? I think you're so very right. I think a lot of us not doing it. It's not that we don't know how to. And as I was explaining, I grew up and I was in the beauty industry since I was 14 years old. I know how to pick clothes out for myself. I know the look that looks great on me. I don't have an issue with that. It was more of saying, okay, Keandra, you really have to be who God has called you to be and be okay with that. And I want to talk about that a little bit about being free. I know we talked about it. We talk about it all the time because we have really in the past 2 years worked collectively together and realizing how free we are, and that freedom means that we can really step into our genius and greatness. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. You know, freedom is a powerful, amazing thing. And it is a godly thing. It is something that God has given us. But one of the most important things about freedom is that it also comes with a price, and it also comes with a responsibility.
Yes.
You know? So you have to sow into your field in the way that you want to reap, right? And so I say all the time that I sow freedom into my field. I do weird things because I want weird miracles. Zero expectation of being a normal person. I have zero expectation of fitting in because God creates peculiar people. So when I say that I want everything he has for me, that means I want every weird miracle. I want every financial breakthrough. I want every look. I want every rock star moment. I want every awesome thing, because you know what? It's not just about me, right? The look, sewing into that look and that style and that person, it's about sewing into the greatness that God has called you from. And when you start operating from there, oh
yes,
my God, it's so
absolutely.
Cool.
It's such a freedom to understand that it's okay to be different. Now, I grew up always feeling a little eyeballish and different. You know, I knew I was a little unique, and I fought that for so long. I used to do posts. I'm different. I'm okay that I'm different, but I really wasn't okay. But because I hadn't really embraced the difference. I just knew that I was different, and I was fighting other people's opinion of me more so than being free. Right. So let's talk about that. Like, how do you? Where do you get that to that point where you just quit fighting what you think other people think about you because you are different, other than just being free to be who you are? And that's one of the things, you know, and I was mentioning to you when I was in California, we did a project. And one of the ladies said to me, "You're free." And I bawled. Like, I was crying. And I know they probably thought I was crazy because they were like, "What happened?" Because she didn't understand what that word meant. That meant, to me, for someone who doesn't know me, who had never seen me, to see the freedom that I had fought so hard to get was so important. So let's talk about that, because you and I talk about that all the time. We're like, look, we're a little bit different. We're a little bit extra sometimes. We're a little, we're a little bit on the what is she doing now phase. But let's talk about the freedom in that.
Well, I think there's three things that you have to do to own your freedom and maintain your freedom, right? So I'm in the first chapter, right? Because one thing that I realized and that I've been praying about is strategy in maintaining my difference, right?
Yeah.
Because to maintain this new land, being free in my difference is what used to separate me from people, but it was me separating me, right? This is new land, being cool, calm, and collected in this freedom, because I fought it for so long. I guess initially I thought, well, maybe it's because I'm biracial, right? Well, maybe it's because I'm tall. Well, maybe it's because, and I suffered from depression for 30 years. I suffered from bulimia for 12 to 15 years. I suffered to get here. So do not look at me. Don't look at those pictures, baby, on Instagram and all the 100 likes and the whatever else. Don't you dare look at me and think that I look like my testimony, because I've been through some hard days. And so what I want you to own in these three things: one, own the story, right? Own every bit of the grit and the dirt and the hurt and the heartache, because anyone else's trying to separate you from the story and the truth of who you are is them trying to discredit you because they can't own their own.
Yes.
You can't be separated from your story by small-minded people, baby. And sometimes they don't mean to be small-minded. They've been so hurt that they can't own it. And so you have to love you so that you can love them. So one, own the story.
And let me add on to that too. They also can't identify with something that they've never seen. So they'll reject what they do not know and understand sometimes. So it's not always you. It's the simple fact that they don't understand it because they've never seen it or experienced it. So that's really good. So what's number two?
For two, after you own the story, you've got to embrace the old you. Right? You got to love that old person. And I look at it like, on a river where they create a dam, and you thought that love could only get to this point, right? Love can only, the water can flow for everybody else but me. Own that we all think that, right? I'm going to own my story, and then I'm going to love that old person, because until I can accept all the things that she gave me and got me, and, I looked at the old person that I was as empty. I looked at all those things. Honestly, yes, she was empty, but baby, she was a vessel waiting to be filled with some.
Yes.
And so I love her for that now. You know what I mean? And as I say that, I think, wow, that's amazing. And it took me a lot of different things. Therapy, self-help books, owning my own journey, right? We all have a journey, and people look at us and think we're perfect. You put on a cool outfit and people think, oh my gosh. But I use the outfit as a parable, because when people get to know me and realize, wow, she's not just like wearing a cool outfit, like she's been through some things and she's open, it becomes that parable of the light, right? Where I don't have to turn down my lamp. And when I do that, I get to number three, because number three is give yourself full permission to shine, right? Just an outfit, honey, that ain't gonna do it. You got to, from the inside to the outside, looking good, feeling good, and letting that parable of the light just shine through you, because we are all looking for that permission. We're looking for that love. And if I do it, right, then I can turn to Keandra and I can say, Keandra, if God can do it for me, he's not a respecter of persons. He can do it for us all. Now, we all have to fight in a different way to get that clear. But I always get a vision, like a prophetic vision in my mind of like a spotlight, those big old ones that shine all over the city. And then some of us have coal over it. So some of us have to get big muscles and pull all the coal off, right? And then that's when you get like one little spot that shines real big and you're like, oh, I want that one little spot. And then something goes back over it and you got to fight again. Listen, baby, it's a fact of life. Sometimes you got to fight to shine. But
Yeah.
you are worth it. Your call is worth it. Your ministry is worth it. And don't you dare apologize for being amazing.
And that's the thing that we have to realize, that we become so apologetic about who God has called us to be. And I know I've talked about that before. Do not apologize. I refuse now to apologize because my light offends you for no reason. I walk into a room sometimes, and we got to understand that sometimes people are strictly offended by us, by who they see us to be. And sometimes we don't even see that in ourselves. So sometimes you will walk in a room and you're like, why don't they like me? What happened? It had absolutely nothing to do with you, but the light that shines through you. And that used to bother me. I mean, let me tell you, just like Liz, I went through therapy. I was going through, and I still see my psychologist. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Listen, we have some appointments because I understand that there's maintenance, and we still go through life, and you still have those moments where I've been through depression. I dealt with the spirit of rejection very, very hard. And so, I had to say, God, in order for me to be who you need me to be for other people, not only do I have to seek you, but I also have to seek some natural help too. Because a lot of times we're like, oh, I'll read the Bible, I'll do this. And I mean, the Bible is great, but sometimes you need that other ear, that source, that somebody who's going to, and my mind, he goes, okay, Axis, I need you to calm down. It's not all about you. And then he'll say, now let's look at this a different way. You know what I'm saying? So and I want you guys to think about that. Do not apologize for being you. Now, also, real quick, when you said don't be afraid to shine, I immediately thought of Felicia. Felicia, her thing this year is designed to shine. So Felicia, I want you to post a link to your shirts in the comments, because listen, God designed us to shine. He left us here for, yes, we gotta get you one. He left us here for a purpose. And so if he left us here for a purpose and we choose not to operate in that purpose, that means that we do not believe we are who he said we are.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of hurt that goes along with the shine. And I think nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about those moments where in the middle of the call, although you've got 2,000 followers on Instagram and you're starting to move and the ball is starting to roll, that all of a sudden you say, I don't think I'm meant for this.
Yeah.
I think I made a wrong direction. I got the Holy Ghost, but I must not have heard him right. Okay?
He wasn't talking to me.
We all get to that point. And what I want you to realize is what I had to realize, what Keandra had to realize, anyone who's mastering their craft, okay? Because one thing I say is, baby, I don't do this. I am this.
Okay? I am this. Absolutely.
This is not what I do. I wake up every day and this is what I am. This is who I am. This is how I was designed. This is how I was built. It's an ownership, right?
Absolutely.
You are designed to shine. What you have to think about is, like I talked to a young women's group the other day about fashion trademarking, right? One thing that a lot of people don't realize is, like, during New York Fashion Week, when I'm sitting there, I'm watching a bunch of trademarks walk by, right? And so even God has trademarked you, right? You think it's like a dress, a wrap dress. You think it's a jacket. There's a lot of legality that has gone into making sure that they don't get sued for that jacket or whatever. See, fashion does it right. They're not mad about the design being different. People are mad about the design being different.
Yeah.
You can't fight your design, because the more you fight your design, the more you try to push yourself down, the more strife and hurt and harm. And now you're looking at God saying, why did you make me like this? What did you do? He didn't do anything but try to help you own your lane, baby.
Yeah.
He's trying to do. So as people, we have to get to a point where we can not only accept our differences, but celebrate the other person's difference as well. When you're looking for everybody around you to fit in, you are insecure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When you're looking for everybody around you to be beautiful and blooming and popping and rocking and rolling, you're looking for their designer trademark. You're looking for that couture thing God did for them. And, when I think about style, I think about an expression, So even when we're talking about, style with your brand, how is it that you visually express your brand? How do you visually express that design that God has put within you? And how do you visually express the service that you give so freely to people? That thing that you feel you were born and designed to do, that thing that caused you to quit your job, to quit your 9 to 5 stability with your 401k and insurance and all the things.
In October, let's talk about it.
Right? How do you visually express that? And being okay with your 1, 2, 3 on the inside, right? And owning that story, embracing who you are, loving that old person, and then giving yourself permission to shine. Your style and the way that you communicate that is a visual expression of your freedom through God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loving that silhouette, yourself, everything about you, and really knowing who you are and being okay with showing up as that girl in the room because you want to give other women and other men and other people permission to do the same.
And the thing that I've this upcoming weekend, I'll be at Pearl's event, the Fearless Women's event for her, and I have to talk about mindset and the fear around your mindset. And I looked at some of the things that cause us to fear.
Whew.
And for me, I'm going to talk about myself. Now, listen, we're going to say this, put this disclaimer out. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I am talking about me. For so long, I was afraid of success. I was afraid that if I really became the successful person that I knew God had called me to be, because from a young child, he told me who I was. And I heard it and I knew it. What would people think about me?
Wow.
How would they see me? Would they still like me? Would they say that, I'm think I'm all that? Well, I am. You know what? Listen, I don't care if I have $1 or $1 million. I am all that because I'm who he made me to be. And that is all that. And so I realized that I had to overcome the fear of success because it's not in my mind, I put all these, and a lot of times it is not anybody else but us ourselves. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they're thinking about you, baby. Sometimes it's you thinking they think this and that. And it's really not that. It's your mindset of that fear of really operating at your fullest potential. But here's the thing. God has given us all intrinsically specific things. Now, I think a lot of times they feel rejection, or they not only rejection, or they stop because so many other people are doing it. Like, there are thousands of stylists, right? There are thousands of coaches. I mean, it's a new coaching firm coming up on Facebook every day, So it's like,
no, you didn't know? Everybody, right?
And then, even overcoming, and Liz and I talk about this all the time, of we are trendsetters, we are game changers. Because I used to get mad, like, do you see they took some of my logo or my ideas? And it was like, that's what they're supposed to do because I am the game changer. They're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So being confident with who you are and being okay with that. So Liz, let's talk about that from your perspective of you're not the only one, and that's okay.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you also have to own what your call is.
Yeah.
Right? I believe in the fivefold ministry. So I had to own that I have an evangelistic and prophetic call on my life, right? Yeah. So what that means is I go into a city, stir up something, and leave, baby.
Be gone.
I set them on fire, right? Fire.
Then it be gone.
Now everybody's doing a style event. They didn't have this. Not everybody's doing it, right? That's my job. My job is
that's what he taught us to be.
And that's exactly what I do. But I do that because we are all looking for permission to shine.
Yeah.
We all are. All of us. Even I'm looking for permission to shine, right?
Yeah.
Even when you're a trendsetter, there are still going to be people that you follow and people that you get inspiration from. It's okay to get inspiration from people. It's not okay to totally copy their verbiage, totally copy what they're doing, totally copy that. You have to ask God, okay, for my calling, right? Maybe you have a more pastoral call. So within that city, you're supposed to be there and be a central location for them, right? With what you do. Because we talk about one thing Keandra and I talk about all the time is marketplace ministry, right?
Yeah.
So even marketplace ministry, you have to own your call. I'm an evangelist. That's why I'm in a different city every single week, right? One of the new territories that God has given me, which I believe is why he has me studying Joshua, is Ohio, right? I went to Ohio, week before last? I worked in Bradenton and Tampa and Palm Harbor this weekend, and then next weekend I fly back to Ohio. So I'm in a different state every single weekend because people need that evangelistic thing that I have. Is it my talent? Sure, yeah. Yeah. He has anointed my eyes to see some things on a project that other people are not even thinking about. I'm watching Jesus Christ Superstar last night.
Yes.
I can't even hear the music because I'm like, the color palette is wrong on these. Oh my gosh. Well, okay, but maybe they did that. Okay, well, the staging is,
yeah.
Paul, right? So often people are like, is that exciting to you? And honey, I'm on the color palette. I haven't even thought about, so own your call within the marketplace as well. When you own your call in the marketplace and then your purpose, what is my call in the marketplace? And then what is my purpose in the marketplace, right?
The call first. Understanding what God has created you to be is always first, because the purpose will flow through the call.
Right. 100%. And then I worked really hard. I think it was year before last on what is my purpose, right? And I was expecting God, Keandra, I was expecting God to give me this atom bomb thing. Girl, I was like, okay, Lord, and I'm praying. Oh, Father, help me, because I want to. And you know what I realized? He gave me one sentence. And I sift everything through. You know how when a gold miner sifts and they're sifting for that gold? When you get your purpose, you have to sift everything through this, right? Might be a mission statement for you. Maybe it's a certain thing. Whatever it is, for me, it was a sentence. I am here to empower and reveal. These two things, right? Which is why, whether it's doing makeup on set or putting together a full look on set, you'll find that my work is more transformative than it is like natural and like whatever, because my job is to bring forth that celebrity within that person. My job is to bring forth the 5 years from now empire queen within the person, that person that you've never seen yourself to be. Which is why, like, when you get your headshots done, you may go, oh, I think these headshots are too whatever, right? Fill in the blank. They don't look like whatever. That's great. But what you're fighting in that normal vision that you want is that prophetic vision that is coming forth, being manifest, right? That picture, you've hired a stylist, you've hired a hair and makeup artist. Those people use their purpose and their call to bring forth, right? They bring forth that prophetic vision, and you can't handle it.
You can't handle the vision that God has even placed. And what we have to realize is that we all do have a call.
100%.
All have a purpose.
Yeah.
And we have to get outside of ourselves.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's not even about you, but we make it so much about us that allows us not to operate fully in purpose.
And then we operate from there. Jacob, I believe it was Jacob that said he turned his heart to the even in my industry, because I don't want to operate in offense. You'll be offended every day. But let me tell you, baby, even that thing that you think is new, honey, it's not new. There's nothing new under the sun. Your timing might be new and on time, on point, right? There's some things that I'm doing. I keep saying I've never seen them before. I have never seen them before, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere, probably in another country or whatever. But my timing is on point for the people that are following me, right?
And you have to understand the market that follows you and their needs. A lot of times we're doing things and we're like, people are not catching it. That's because you have not defined you haven't even clarified who your market is. And that's
everybody. You're not here for everybody. I don't care what you say. If you say, well, I sell water bottles, right? Baby, you need to know the age demographic, the visual demographic, where those people shop, and from what type of car they drive to what type of events that they go to, because that's where you're going to sell your water bottles.
Yep.
Now, not going to do, right? A lot of people talk about their avatar client. Okay, I get it. I understand, right? But you've got to connect the next thing. And this is where people miss it when they're talking about branding and creating the visual brand and the marketing. You miss that a lot of who your avatar client is you. Look in the mirror.
Or the people that are already purchasing your product. See, what I found is that people create an avatar and it doesn't look like anything like the people that are, I'm actually going to talk about that today on Instagram, that it doesn't look like anybody that is actually purchasing their product.
Right. And the thing is once they create this avatar, now what they do is they create a whole lifestyle to go after this false vision, right? This false evidence appearing real, right? Because now I fear going forth with my brand and what the visual is and how the pictures need to look, and because it's so far from who I am. So I suggest that after you get maybe a brand professional or whoever to create your avatar, right? I suggest that you go back and look in the mirror and say, what is it? What are those things within me that minister to those people that are following me, right? For me, it is that I've been the Shulamite girl for a whole heap, a lot of my life, my Jesus, right? Remember that Solomon goes to her and she says, woe is me, right? My vineyards haven't been tended. How could you want me, right? Me? My skin is, she comes up with
everything.
Every excuse about why she can't be loved. Basically, why she can't be successful. How many of you have done that, right?
We all have been the Shulamite girl, or operate as the shoe. We all have been. When we talked about that, remember when we had that first conversation about it, and we were like, "Oh my God!" Like, really? First of all, there is nothing new under the sun. You'll find you in the Word.
Yes.
You'll find you in the Word. That's the first thing. So get into it to find you. But two, we all make excuses as to why we can't be who God has called us to be.
Right. And at the end of the day, you have to be Solomon unto yourself, baby. You can't wait for somebody to come be Solomon to you. What happens is once you pour that love upon yourself, and what that isn't is that narcissistic, I'm the bomb, blah, blah, blah. It's that, God, I own every piece of my story.
Yeah.
Piece of me that isn't this and isn't that, rock on, because those are the pieces of me that build empathy, that are going to build love, that are going to solve people's problems even when it can't be solved. You're going to give me that gifting. You're going to give me a solution for them, God, because I'm going to operate through being Solomon unto myself, loving me, tending my vineyards. And when I tend my vineyards, then I have extra tools that I can loan Keandra, right? And I can do it and not even care if she gives it back, and I can flow in love. And once I realized that I spent probably the first 33, 34 years of my life in that Shulamite state, right, of devastation, and then started studying Joshua and said, okay, God, I need a new strategy, right? Because Moses could only get the people to hear. Right? He could only get the people to hear. Okay. In his time frame, what was supposed to be an 11-day journey became 40 years. Okay. Now, as Joshua, I can take the people the rest of the way because I have the strategy. I have the experience of seeing what Moses, my mentor, did. And now I have the strategy to take the people the other way.
Yeah.
From yourself the same way. As soon as you pour that love on top of yourself, then all of a sudden you're free. You know that freedom Keandra and I are talking about? You're free because you're not afraid to reveal and empower, right? That's my mission. Now everything I do, I sift like that gold miner. I sift everything through that. Now I'm okay with walking in and being almost 6'3" in heels. You know what I mean? I'm okay with this blonde, short haircut that, it took us a couple times to get. I'm fine now with everything. And I still have to work on it, right? Because that's is continuing to do that self-love work. But when you do that, you become free to show up as that empire building, God loving, fearless, fierce woman of God or fierce gentleman of God that you were always designed to be. And you don't have to look like your surroundings. You can just be free to be that person and be a rock star. Now what you have to do is surround yourself with other rock stars who have that same thing. See, Keandra and I keep each other hyped up. You hear me? We'll call each other and say, hey, queen, what you do? You're the bomb. I'm so proud of you. God is doing things. And I don't expect that from her, but she does it. She doesn't expect that from me, but I do it. And because we keep ourselves surrounded with someone that tends our vineyards for us when we're too tired to do it, and we've poured that love on top of ourselves, it's the cherry on top is that freedom that you have. And everybody's fighting for that freedom. So before we talk about any type of style strategy, I say, baby, go be free. Go be free.
And I realize that even in my coaching, before we get to a place of clarity, because Liz helped me to even realize, you know, Keandra, you bring clarity to people. You bring clarity to who they are. You bring clarity to their business. You bring clarity, order, and innovation. I get that, right? So now I realize that I have to work on the clarity piece first before we get into let's build, you know, in internet marketing and marketing, let's build your business. Let's build your avatar. Let's look at your funnels. Let's do all that. Before we can even do all that, I need to get to you. And sometimes we don't want to get to ourselves because we're afraid of what we will find, but we cannot fear what we're going to find. We have to utilize that as a catalyst.
Right.
Yes, people see me on live, they see me smiling, and I'm going to give this a little tip, and then I'm going to let Liz close out and we'll wrap up. But one of my best friends called me, and she said, when did you start talking so much? You used to be so mean. She was like, you did not smile. You did not talk to people. You were never the life of the party. You were not that person. And when did this happen? She was like, I was listening to your live. I'm thinking like, who is this? And that's because I really delved into, I did a 40-day fast. And I know I've said it before, fruits, vegetables, and water. And I really delved into me. I was like, God, show me me. And in that time, you have rejection issues that cause you to be bitter. You are mean. You have a jealous tendency and a jealous heart because free people make you irritated. They irritate you because they're free. You know, I had to really deal with all those things so that I could now be who God has called me to be now. And sometimes we do have to take that time and honor those negative things in our lives. Because I honor those times. I thank God for those times because they have shown me how I can be better. They've shown me that now when I see it in someone else, I'm not offended by that because I can identify with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And when you see something that you can identify, please love that person for it. Embrace them for it. Because the same thing that's going to set you free is going to set them free. And the same thing that's going to set them free is going to set you free. And we're all after the freedom to be amazing. And that's really, you know, what this is. That's why you support each other on this journey, you know, to build the empire in whatever form it is. And that's the important thing. You know, one of the things that we have to do is we have to move past being the Proverbs 31 woman, right? We celebrate her, wonderful, 1 thumb up, not 2, because to manifest her, okay? Right? She is a prophecy from a mother to the son. That's it.
That's it.
Do anything is like, I mean, that's like you, I mean, that's theoretical, right?
And that's who she needed for her. Yeah, that's who she needed for her. Mm-hmm.
Right. But now we're in a time of manifestation. So baby, my love, sweetheart, be Keturah, Deborah, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, let's go to this next thing. So what I'm going to give you guys is 4 rules that are going to help you unleash your style it factor. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite you to my group on Facebook, Style It Factor VIP. I'll be in there live later today doing Motivation Monday. And what I do in that group is help you build your style techniques, right? I do everything for my it girls, helping you become that it girl on the rise. I help you, I do trend forecasts. I mean, girlfriend, we do it all. We've gone to Bergdorf's together from New York City. I mean, I take you to New York Fashion Week with me, all the things, right? Because it's all about kind of giving you a VIP behind the scenes pass, you know, to my concert, right? My style concert, which is my life. And I love that. But I want to give you these 4 tips to help you unleash your style it factor. Now, when we think about people that have an it factor, we classically immediately think about like Beyonce or, you know, Toni Braxton or somebody that we love. Boom, they're on the stage, they're doing that thing. And believe me, baby, you were meant and designed to shine, right? So you were designed to be on the front row and on that center stage. But how you do it is different for each person. So 1, you're going to own that you have an it factor. Own that you have it factor, right? Capital IT factor, baby. And what that is it's charisma. It's embracing your journey and your story. It's celebrating it, knowing your purpose, and really guiding yourself from that purpose and that principle. We have to do that before we even go shopping. Because otherwise it's as our friend Cheryl Pullins likes to say all the time, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, baby.
Baby.
Red lipstick, honey, ain't got your ears pierced. What's going on? Owning that space of who you are before you even put on your outfit is really important. That's why they say, confidence breeds beauty. That confidence, and not that haughty pride confidence, but just a confidence in God. You created me to be amazing. I don't know how to do it, but you're showing me the strategy. The way to be fearless is to be fruitful and to just keep moving forward. I mean, do that first, right? Own your it factor first, and then you can move forward. Number 2, commit to a monthly budget for yourself. Commit to a monthly budget. When you commit to that monthly budget, now don't be afraid, okay? If that monthly budget is $20 or $50 or $200 or $1,000, whatever your budget is, because when you start talking money, people go, oh, I can't possibly, because, and my favorite one is, I'm a mom. Okay, well then, children that being a mother is valuable, right? Sow into yourself so that your daughters know how to sow into themselves when they become a mother.
Absolutely.
Sow yourself so that your sons don't marry a woman and then say to her, well, my mama didn't spend $20 on herself. Well, my okay, because now he's diminishing her, and it's because you didn't sow into yourself.
You can see it.
We want our children to reap, right? And in order to do that, they reap a lot of times in the way they've seen generational sowing, right? Generational wealth is created by generational sowing. So even what you do for yourself, your personal care, becomes seeds that you put into the ground that creates a harvest for your next generations, because that's how they know how to be a woman. That's how they know how to be a husband. That's how they know how to be whatever that, caption is. That's how they know how to be that person. So set a monthly budget of what you're going to sow into yourself, and realize you're not just buying stuff, okay? You're buying the cues, the visual cues for that woman that you were prophesied to be. You're buying that. When you buy those earrings, you're buying her earrings. When you buy those shoes, you're buying her shoes, right? The scariest thing I ever did was spend more than I'd ever spent on a pair of shoes because, oh my God. But you know what? They fit me well. I love them. I can walk 20,000 miles in New York City in them. And I had to sow into being that woman, right? Number 4, make a plan and stick to it, right? After you've owned that it factor, you've created a monthly budget. Now you're going to make a plan, make a style plan, I should say, and stick to it, right? So we know that we have 4 quarters in the year. So every 3 months, you're going to take yourself shopping with over $100 or more. So let's just say for the average person, $200. And why you're doing this is because, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you want to get that phone call. Keandra, have you got that phone call before of, we need you to come to this conference and we need you to be here for 4 days. What you don't
need to come tomorrow.
Right. Tomorrow. So you need time to go buy a whole bunch of stuff, and then what you're doing in that hurry, you're buying a bunch of stuff that you don't even really like, right? So if you consistently are spending a couple $100s on yourself, buying a nice thick wrap dress, we're not wearing pure cotton, anything that's see-through, right? We're going to do thick. I wish I could show you how thick like this shirt is, because I knew that when I was on camera and when I was under lighting, it's not see-through, right? So for plus women, I would say eloquy.com, Gwenny B, justfab.com, Torrid sometimes, but sometimes their clothes is a little flimsy. And there are some other great things. Once you go into Style Factor VIP, you'll see some of the links. For women who are like 0 to 12, I would say Just Fab online. I would say Macy's is great. They always have, Dillard's always has great, cute little sundresses and things on sale really quick. And Target's Who What Wear line is really great too, right? For like under 100, under 50. But the more that you buy these really simple little pieces and have them to choose from, now when somebody calls Keandra and says, hey, Keandra, can you come? Now, what you all have to think of is if I'm going to a conference for 4 days, I need eight outfits. So I've got to have 8 bomb.com outfits, because remember, my first impression is my best impression, and every time I walk in the door, I'm making a new first impression, right? So every time I've got to kill it when I walk in and unleash my style it factor. Now that means that I can't be going to the conference saying, well, I guess I'll wear my worst outfit on the last day. Every time I'm presenting my brand anew, and you want a fresh presentation of that. Number 4 and the final is let your light shine. Let your light shine. When you enter that room and you've done the work, present yourself like the queen or the king that you are, and walk through that parable of the light. Let your life be the parable of the light. Let your light shine. Do it fearlessly and fearfully, because you're going to be afraid sometimes, right? That light gets brighter and brighter. But when you're fearless, you're actually fierce and fabulous, because you put the you in fab you, Y-O-U-less, and you're walking it out and you're seeing it out no matter how you feel. And that is really imperative. But remember, like Felicia's shirt says, and I'm going to need to buy one of those, you are designed to shine. You're fabulous and amazing and worthy. And I don't care what your story looks like, and I don't care who told you that you weren't that person. You are amazing, and we love you, and I just know that you can do it. Don't forget to join my group, Style It Factor VIP, on Facebook, and come to my party April 29th at Brandon Charming Charlie's from 7 to 9 p.m. You can go find the event on Facebook. It's called Spring Glam Party at Charming Charlie's, and get your free complimentary, darling. That's how we do it, darling. Hollywood Shine. Get your free RSVP complimentary of me, and I love to see you there. We're going to hang out, we're going to shop together, do some cool things, and I'll help you spend a little bit of that monthly budget so that you can really start buying yourself some amazing things and start sewing into that prophetic, amazing vision of who you are.
Thank you. It's so amazing. It's funny because, and I have to say this, anytime Liz and I are together, like, we could be at a restaurant and we find our ways to a Charming Charlie. Where's your Charming Charlie's around here? Like, it is absolutely funny. We always end up at Charming Charlie's. It's an amazing store. So if you can, join us April 29th. Go ahead.
Do you remember how scared you were the first time we went to buy accessories? I mean, Keandra was like, ah! I was showing, okay, Keandra, what are the colors? Okay, we're going to buy, and I think it was 4 or 5 necklaces that we picked out, and she was like, you want me to what? So remember, too, like now Keandra walks in, and I'm like, look at my baby. Look at her. She put that together by herself. Oh, I love it, right? Because you grow in the process. I mean, I have grown in the process. Don't just look at me and think because my outfit looks cool now that I've always been this way. Once upon a time, I walked into my closet and thought, how am I a style professional and this is what I look like? Like, I need to look like what I sell. You can't make it hard for people to believe that you do what you do, right?
I would say that Liz really helped me to find myself again, because in high school, all the way up until I stopped being in the beauty industry, I didn't have a problem with styling myself. I didn't have a problem. My mindset, she really helped me with, okay, that was then, this is now. Who are we now? Let's get it and let's go. And so I'm really excited for April 29th. I am checking. I may be out of town, but if not, I will send some representatives. We will be in the Bomb Mentoring Group. We'll be in the house, whether I'm there, we're all there, but we will be in the house. So we're really excited for you and all that God is doing in and through you. And Liz, I just have to publicly say, I am so thankful for our friendship. I'm so thankful for the love that you bring to my life. It is amazing. And she is not lying when she says sometimes it'll be a 5-second call. I just called to tell you I love you and you're great. And we will hang up on each other. No response. See you later. Just know that you are the one. And you need those type of people in your life to help you really be who God has called you to be. And I'm so excited about all that God is doing in your life. And thank you for being free, because it allows so many other men and women around the world to be free. So Liz, again, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Do you want to have one last thing before we close out?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you as well because you've brought the same thing to my life.
Yeah.
And so often you need to look at the people around you and realize that they're a mirror of who you are. So if you see a bunch of broken, hurt shards of glass, you're probably a broken, hurt shards of glass as well. So the amazing thing to me was when God started surrounding me with amazing women who were freed and healed, and it made me feel freed and healed. And so I encourage each and every one of you, whether you've got $10 to sow into yourself or $20 or whatever, just start sowing into yourself, whether it's getting a massage or buying a pair of earrings or whatever it is. Start sowing into that woman that that man that that you were designed to become, because you are a conqueror. You are more than a conqueror. You are absolutely amazing. You are created, no matter what your story is, no matter what's come against your family. I don't care what height you are, what weight you are, what age you are, what size you are. You can start again. You can be better than you've ever been. You can be the greatest thing that God has ever done in the whole wide world, because we were each designed with a success purpose over our lives. You might fight a little harder than somebody else to get there, but I promise you that you were, as Felicia's shirt says, designed to shine.
And to shine. Thank you so much, Liz. I so appreciate you. And I just love having you on. I love the time that we spend together, whether it's virtually or live. I absolutely love our time together. So guys, I will make sure that I put all of her information down in the comments. And listen, let's go. You are absolutely fearless. This is not the time for you to begin to shy of who God has called you to be. You have to be bold. You have to love. You have to love to be loved, and be okay with who God has called you to be, because you are fearless. You are bold. You are prophetic. You do have a call, and there is oil that needs to pour out of you onto other people. And do not be afraid to share that oil. Don't be afraid to let that cup overflow onto other people. So guys, I am so excited. We are fearless, right? We are fearless. We are fearless. Join us next week for our special guest next week. Stay tuned. Remember, the replays will be up on YouTube. They'll be live on the page for about 24 to 48 hours. And then you can find replays forever on our YouTube channel. I'll make sure we post all of those links. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. And remember, you are fearless.